And welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We're gonna talk. Cavs. We'll talk NBA news and Browns and NFL news, and I'll have an update on the Greg Robinson arrest that happened on Monday. And we're gonna talk Tribe and Major League Baseball. We're gonna talk college hoops, Ohio State Buckeyes. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101. Trivia question. Who scored the first three-point basket in NBA history? I will have the answer later on the podcast. We do have some Cavs news. John Beilein chose to step down as head coach of the Cavs earlier this week. Though he's expected to remain with the team in some capacity as a result of Beilein's decision, the Cavs elevated J.B. Bickerstaff as the new head coach. Previously, Bickerstaff had served as the assistant head coach for Cleveland, so was promoting Bickerstaff to full-time head coach instead of making him an interim head coach the right move for the Cavs. Our answer, and my answer, I feel, is yes. I feel it was a good idea. Bickerstaff is well respected by players and coaches alike. The 40-year-old Colorado native has a fair amount of experience with coaching at the NBA level. In fact, he was once the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies and was the interim head coach with the Houston Rockets. And he has also been an assistant for several other teams in the league. So I feel this was a good move. And I just feel we'll see what happens with J.B. Bickerstaff for the remainder of the season. Now we're going to go to, we have really, this is an article that just came in that I read, came in 27 minutes ago. And it was Charles Barkley who ripped on the Cavs this evening. It was out of Washington, D.C. Charles Barkley didn't hold back at all. Appearing on TNT's Inside the NBA Studio show, shortly before tip-off of the first game of the network's doubleheader, Philadelphia 76ers versus the Brooklyn Nets, Barkley took a moment to rip the Cleveland Cavaliers for their treatment of former head coach John Beilein, who resigned Wednesday evening after just 54 games. I just want to, Barkley had indicated, I want to call out the Cleveland Cavaliers, excuse me. I thought what they did to Coach Beilein was ridiculous and unprofessional, Barkley said. I think the veterans on that team were not leaders, and I think the young guys on that team who can't play think they are better than they are, and they tried to get that man fired. And Barkley said, I am so disgusted by the players trying to get that man fired. Barkley didn't specify where the venom was directed, but using the term veterans seems to imply Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson are two of the holdovers from the LeBron James era when the Cavs won the title in 2016. John Beilein is a hell of a coach, and I think he is a good coach, Barkley said. A good guy, Barkley said, excuse me. For those players to complain about we're practicing too hard, we're watching too much film because they stink, I just didn't think that was fair. When a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. When players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. I am disgusted by what the Cavaliers did to Coach Beilein. Now, let me say this. Barkley, it was John Beilein's decision to resign from the Cavs as head coach. And he felt he was way in over his head, and he struggled to connect with the team. Now, rip it on them like you did, that doesn't give you any right. But Shaquille, later, Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal defended Beilein and felt that it was his decision to resign, but they were surprised that he didn't say, I'm glad I didn't get the H-E-double-L out of here. But I got to tell you, Barkley, I felt you were out of line. But I felt It was his decision. I think we all knew this was going to happen. We all knew it was. Because he was treating those players like college kids, and the players felt that way, and that's why it wasn't over his head, he just didn't connect, and they just struggled, having a 14-40 record and being in the basement in the Eastern Conference. And I feel, Barkley, you shouldn't have been ripping on the Cavs like that. You really should not have. But you did come back and defend them, so I'm going to give you credit for that. But I'm going to move on to some Browns. I'm going to flip back to one that I had mentioned. As you know, Browns lineman Craig Robinson was arrested on Monday for possession of marijuana. He was arrested at a checkpoint at the U.S. border, Mexico border, Sierra Blanca, in it was a checkpoint area, a restricted area, and the authorities found a large amount of marijuana, 157 pounds to be exact, and Robinson is currently facing a federal charge along with a 26-year-old Jonah Bay, and he could face up to 20 years in prison. And El Paso County Jail records state that he is still in custody in Texas, per ESPN, and the Browns have made it known that they have no intentions to sign Robinson for the 2020 season. Prior to his tenure with Cleveland, Robinson was with the Detroit Lions for one season in 2017, and this comes after the Browns brought on Kevin Stefanski as their new head coach and Andrew Berry as their new general manager. They still haven't. They inspected the car, and the driver said, "If I had known about drugs, I wouldn't have driven them in the first place." And they still haven't decided what the final verdict, and they are still in custody, and they are really investigating this case. And as I just mentioned, Robinson could face up to 20 years in prison, and his NFL career could be over because of this incident. And I will still keep you updated on this developing story. The Ohio State Buckeyes lost to the Iowa Hawkeyes 85-76 tonight at Carter Hawkeye. I'm going to turn it back again. At Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa, and the Hawkeyes were up 46-35 at the end of the first half, and they never let up, and the Buckeyes just could not get back in it, and they got up to 76 points, and that was as close as they got. So I just gotta tell you, this was not a good night for the Buckeyes, and they will take on Maryland on Sunday. And they fought a 17-9, the Buckeyes. We'll get to the Tribe in just a moment, but right now it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Who scored the first three-point basket in NBA history? And if you said Chris Ford, you are correct. On October 12, 1979, Chris Ford of the Boston Celtics scored the first three-point basket in NBA history with 3:48 left in the first quarter of a 114-106 victory over Houston at Boston Garden. This game also marked the debut of Boston rookie Larry Bird. I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, so stay tuned for that. The Tribe will play their first Cactus League game of the exhibition season as they will take on the Cincinnati Reds at Goodyear Ballpark in Arizona. Jeffrey Rodriguez will be the Tribe's starting pitcher. against the Reds on Saturday in place of Mike Clevenger, who is injured right now. And I think it's going to be a good opportunity for Rodriguez to be in the rotation until they get Clevenger back. And we'll see how he does. And first pitch is at 3:05 p.m. And I think it will be on Sports Time Ohio, I do believe. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back with another podcast this week on Saturday or Sunday. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.